hello. This is a stream, I wanted to do for a while because I wanted to share how many books on this sort of subject that there is, the old MK Ultra and the LSD experiments and all the CIA stuff from the 50s, well, right from World War II onwards. There's a lot of good books, and a lot of them you can read for free on a site called archive.org that a lot of people probably know about, but in case you don't, I'll show you how to find books on archive.org. And you just sign up with an email address. It costs nothing. And it's just an important subject to know about, because it's interesting to know what your government would do to you and what they did do to my parents. And you guys, a lot of you guys are sort of slightly older than me. You're not quite as old as my dad, I don't think, but yeah. My audience generally, like when you were younger. These experiments were all going on. Yeah, and it's an important subject, and there's a lot of good ones. And it does relate to the Manson case as well, because there's a lot of talk of the CIA interference in the Charles Manson case, and you need to know what really went on to understand, or to assess whether there really was CIA involvement in the Manson murders and that sort of thing. So it does relate back to the Manson case, because a lot of people are probably obviously following my channel because of the Manson case stuff that I've done. And a lot of people, we talk about Chaos, the book Chaos, don't we? But he wasn't the first one to talk about CIA involvement in it all. And thank you to all the new subscribers. I've now actually reached 900 subscribers. Yeah, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Because I'm nearly at 1,000 subscribers now. I never expected to get so far because of it's quite a niche subject I talk about, and just a small, low budget channel, really honest. And if you're a new subscriber and you're interested in the Charles Manson case stuff, look at the full sequence of events videos and the playlist of the Charles Manson case that I've done. That's the way. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, 900. That's it. I don't. Has it gone over now? Has someone else subscribed? I don't know. Yeah, I can't see from here until I look later. Yeah. It'd be great. Yeah, and if you're watching on playback, there'll be chapters in the description. But I'm just going to say hello to everyone now, since it's a live stream before I start. But there'll be chapters in the description if you just want to see the books. And all the books are just listed in the description as well. Everyone, David Potter, James Watson, Frankie's here as well, yeah, and Little Milky again. Capone, of course, and Paul is here, yeah. So thanks everyone for coming. Yeah, it is an interesting subject. Yeah, there's a bloody hurricane raging outside. We've got a storm raging. That's why I was late starting, because I was waiting at my friend's house hoping it would blow over, but it just kept getting worse and worse, so I had to go. It's really bad. Yeah. Which one did I catch the video? Where he admits Charlie knew the Beach Boys way back in his SF days. No, I don't know yet. What was that? Where did you put that? In my group. Yeah, you'll probably hear the wind, actually. The mic will probably pick it up. It's quite loud. My cat is sat on my lap tonight. You might see my cat moving around too. Can you hear me all right? I should move the mic closer a bit, I think. But yeah, what I'll do is I'll show you the first book, and then I'll show you how to use archive.org in case you don't know how. Right. So yeah, I'll get to the slides. Right, yeah, so that's all the books. The first one is this Poisoner in Chief. It's quite a new one. It's from 2019. The author's a historian and a journalist. He talks about MK Ultra and the LSD studies and many others involved, etc. And he also talks about other poisonings, because this guy studied all sorts of poisons, not just before all the MK Ultra stuff. That was what he did. Oh, it says a typo. Contains a lot of information about Operation Paperclip straight away, yeah, just in the first chapter. And goes into great detail about Gottlieb's life, obviously. So yeah, it's a good one. I've only read the first 2 chapters of it. I didn't realise it was on archive.org. I've only just found it. But yeah, it looks really good. The most information I've seen condensed into one chapter in one place about the Operation Paperclip guys and what they were doing and exactly who they brought over. So yeah, that one is worth looking up. And now, if I do that, yeah, this is the address is archive.org. You just type that in, obviously, and if you're not signed up, you got to create an account. and sign in. And the Wayback Machine up here, where it says the Wayback Machine, that's if there's a website that you used to use, but it's gone now. You can put the URL in there, and it might have a snapshot of it from the past. So that's, yeah, if you didn't know what the Wayback Machine was. And yeah, but you just go in the search box. So you hit here, and so we'll go. Right, see if it finds it just from the title. It should do. No, text. Yeah, because this site contains all kinds of stuff, not just books. It contains audio archives and all sorts of stuff. There it is. If you type the title, the full title and the author, you'll find it faster than that. But yeah, and then you've got the book. And this one, you have to borrow it. Yeah, and that's... Just clear that, and it makes the books easier to read if you go to one page, I find. And scroll down, like that. And there you've got the book. And yeah, you just can scroll down and read it, obviously. Right. So yeah. Has anyone else read that one yet? Because yeah, I just found it, and that is good. Yeah, it's on archive.org. I just showed you it. Yeah, if you go and search the full title, all the titles are down in the description, so you can just like copy and paste the title and the author into the search engine and find them all. It is a good one. Have you read it, Capone? Yeah. Oh, and, yeah, I know Paulcaster's recommended it. I haven't you before, because I've seen you recommend it. Yeah. Is it a good book? Yeah. Yeah, well, like I said, I read the first chapter and I was impressed straight away by how much information it gave you about Operation Paperclip. I couldn't believe it. Just in the first chapter, actually, the names of who they brought over and that they were already experimenting with mescaline before in the concentration camps and that. So, like, yeah, it's a good book. Definitely worth reading. And what was the next one I had? Oh, yes. Brainwash. This is one I've actually got a hard copy of. I always gone about this. The Secret History of Mind Control by Dominic Streatfield, the full title is. Published in 2008. He had access to formally classified documentation and interviews from the CIA, US Army, MI5, MI6, and British Intelligence Corps. Contains a lot of information and is very well researched. Talks about a variety of different subjects surrounding mind control, not just MKUltra. Talks about religious cults. There's a whole chapter about Judas priests being taken to court and accused of putting subliminal messages in their archives in their records that cause suicide. As well, yeah, which was a story I hadn't heard about. I suppose if you were there at the time, you would have heard about it, but I'd have been too young. But yeah, it covers a wide range of subjects. But yeah, it's got all the information. It's a good reference book to have because it's got all the just everything about when they got all the LSD and all that sort of stuff. It's useful, and also a lot about also it goes into things they did to prisoners in Northern Ireland, the techniques they used in Northern Ireland to try and break the prisoners and shit like that, So other things, yeah. It's not just about MKUltra, but that's one of the subjects it covers, and it's definitely worth reading. So yeah, I've recommended that one before. Hope people have read it or look for it at least. Yeah. Is there a documentary about it? Yeah, because I almost didn't look it up. Yeah, because it's a really horrible story. One lad shot himself, and his friend picked up the gun and went to shoot himself, but must have hesitated and pulled the gun forward, and he just blew his jaw off, and he lived. But like there was nothing they could do for him. They hadn't rebuilt him a jaw yet, and he was just like a drooling hole in the front of his face apparently. And in the end, he killed himself by overdosing on his medication. Yeah, it's absolutely horrible. And they tried to blame Judas Priest and tried to say that they had put subliminal messages in the records. But the weird thing was the record company wouldn't hand over the master tapes. They kept saying they had lost the master tapes, and that's bollocks because the master tapes are worth millions of dollars to record companies. They wouldn't have lost the master tapes. but they ended up never handing over the master tapes. They got out of it. So though in the end they got found not guilty, sort of thing. You know, the court case wasn't successful. The record company never actually handed over the master tapes, so they could examine them and prove there wasn't any subliminal in them. And that's in Brainwash, yeah. So that's worth looking at Brainwash. Yeah, test. Did the CIA look for that? I don't know. No, that would be the prison psychologist more than the CIA, wouldn't it? Or maybe, yeah, they might have been looking through prison records for people with certain traits. Yeah. Yeah, Judas Priest. That happened to Judas Priest. Ozzy Osbourne also got taken to court, though, didn't he? Because a kid committed suicide wearing headphones with his record playing and shot himself. And one of the songs on that side of the record was a song called Suicide Solution. And so they reckon he must have been playing that song as he did it. But again, they didn't successfully prosecute Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah. Yeah. Universal Music lost the master tapes to thousands of artists in a vault fire. Fuck. Yeah. That must have pissed him off. They must have lost a lot of money. Unless that was some kind of insurance fiddle or something. Although a few artists have won court cases to get more control for artists over their master tapes, haven't they? Maybe it was something to do with that. Rather than give the artists back their own master tapes, they burnt them. Oh, yeah, and this next book, yeah, I'll get onto this book because this one looks brilliant, and I've only read part of it. I only found it recently, but this one, called A Terrible Mistake, The Murder of Frank Olson and the CIA's Secret Cold War Experiments by H.P. Albarelli Jr. Sorry if I butchered his name. Right, it first was published in 2008, but there's updated editions. Reveals that Olson was murdered and who by in great detail, goes into great detail about it all. He talks about other CIA mind control projects, Artichoke, Bluebird, MK Ultra, MK Delta, and MK Naomi. It's very long, but contains a ton of information, so well worth reading. And yeah, I've started to read it. It does look really good. And this is on archive.org as well. And yeah, it's good to know more about Frank Olson and what exactly went on there. Yeah. Rob Halford from Judas Priest used to use a mic stand, which was a broom handle painted silver. Yeah, probably because you couldn't get what he needed at the time. Yeah, that's it. The government fussed up on that one. The Frank Olson thing. Yeah, because in case people don't know, Frank Olson is the CIA scientist who's supposed to have jumped through a window on LSD after he got spiked with LSD. Well, that was the official story. But basically, yeah, spoiler alert, it's it turns out that he was having a breakdown or something and they were worried he was going to talk about some top secret shit he'd been working on. So they assassinated him, basically. He didn't jump, he was pushed. Yeah, and the book goes into great detail about all of it. But I was impressed by the amount of information about these other projects that you don't hear so much about. These are the ones that predate MK Ultra and go after it, I think, some of them. And I think they're all predating it, aren't they? All the other ones. But yeah, it's amazing what they did. And like I say, Poisoner in Chief tells you in great detail about how they brought the Nazis over just in the first chapter. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, I couldn't believe this was published so long ago and I hadn't seen it. They try and keep these things quiet, don't they? Yeah, I thought I'd have seen this one years ago because it came out first in 2008. This is it had a different cover, the first edition, from what I've seen. But yeah, it's brilliant. So yeah, definitely look that one up if you haven't. And what was the next one I had? Oh, the Mind Manipulators. Yeah, I found this one just recently in a reference of a paper I was reading when I was looking at the biological warfare. The Mind Manipulators by Alan W. Scheflin. I think that's how you pronounce that name. Because there's quite a cover in it as well. Terrifying picture. It's from 1978, so it might be a bit dated now and only would have had, the information they had back then. There's well-organised chapters and shows the use of mind manipulation among individuals deemed efficiency experts for police surveillance and in the prison system, and includes a discussion of Charles Manson arguing that his control over his followers was not actual brainwashing, And he talks about psychosurgery and electric shock therapy, and talks about various forms of castration. There's a whole chapter about chemical castration and actual castration and all the different things they can do to sex offenders, basically. Yeah. So it's got a lot of information about like deeply medical psychiatry and psychology subjects about changing people's behavior. So it's not only MK Ultra, but yeah, it is good if you're into psychology and the darker side of psychology, and the horrible things that they've done. But yeah, I haven't read the chapter on Charles Manson yet. That's interesting. And who's the other one? Is it Patty Hearst, the one that was kidnapped and they said she got brainwashed by her captors? But he talks about her as well, and he says she probably wasn't brainwashed, I think, was the upshot from what I saw from the reviews on it. But yeah, that looks good as well. So yeah, thought I'd include that one. Yeah. This one. And after that, it was Acid Dreams as well. Yeah, this one I've talked about before. I've got this one as well. And when I was looking on archive.org more recently, I found this one actually, it was published in 1985 originally. And that version of it is on archive.org as well. But the one I've got is the revised edition from 1992. And it covers all aspects of LSD, including the CIA bits, and good coverage of Timothy Leary and Millbrook, etc. Great book to have as a reference book. But I did find it a bit biased towards what Leary did being just organic and well-meaning. I think there's enough evidence he knew what was going on, and he helped incapacitate the counterculture with his philosophy and high doses of LSD sort of thing. I don't think that he was entirely innocent. But yeah, and so it's quite, forgiving of everyone. But yeah, other than that, but it gives you a good amount of information about Millbrook and all that, what happened there, the mansion that Timothy Leary had, and talks about Michael Hollingshead quite a lot, who I'll be talking about on this channel later. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Is the mic picking up the wind? I don't know. It probably doesn't. Yeah, and what were the other books? 6. Oh, so we're on to the last one now. The Search for the Manchurian Candidate, which is an old one from 1979. Written by a former State Department officer, John Marks, in 1979. Describes a wide range of CIA activities during the Cold War, based on 16,000 pages of CIA documents and many interviews. Generally has good reviews, though some people say it's just the tip of the iceberg. And he would have had limited information, then obviously everything would have been redacted that he was shown, wouldn't it? But it was still worth a read. It definitely was a bestseller at its time, and it was one of the first books written about all this sort of stuff. And this was about, the really nasty stuff where they were trying to split people's personalities and all that sort of shit, unpleasant. But yeah, so that's it, I think. Oh no, 8. Sorry, there's 8, isn't there? So yeah, there's this one as well. Acid: The Secret History of LSD by David Black. This is a UK writer as well. He's an independent scholar and journalist. It gives a good history of LSD. Concentrates on a CIA spook named Ron Starks, who was the biggest LSD dealer in the world, according to this book anyway. And he talks more about the UK LSD scene. And it's a shorter book if you're looking for a quicker read, because a lot of these books are very long. But yeah, that's what I found a while back. So yeah. Leary was too smart to be totally innocent. Yeah, when I get to presenting all the stuff about him, there's just like several things he did that says that he was aware that things were going to go bad or whatever for certain people, and that the point was to drive people nuts, and it wasn't all just. And he was worried, basically, about that. I think, yeah, but I can present that in the end, yeah. But yeah, that's all 8 of the books. Yeah, I got rushed through that quite quickly. But yeah, can just have shorter streams sometimes, so it's better, I think. Yeah. So has anyone read any of them in the chat? Well, a few of you have read Poisoner in Chief, haven't you? And I know, other than Capone, you've read Acid Dreams, haven't you? What did you think about it? And Brainwash, you know, all these books are on archive.org. You just type the title in and you can find them. Archive.org. Here, I'll type it in the chat. Oh. Archive.org. Oh, you've got Acid Dreams, have you? Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I can even do a banner so it shows up on the screen. Sorry, it wouldn't work. There you go, archive.org. Yeah, that's the website. And it's free. Yeah, that's it. Our component had already written it anyway. Yeah, like I say, it's free to join, and they don't give you loads of emails or anything like that. There's no catch at all. Some of the books you have to borrow, and they're in a dispute with some publishers at the moment. So some books you'll find say unborrowable, but all the ones that I've listed here were borrowable at the time that I did this stream. And some of them are ones that are just like community text. If it's just a community text, you don't have to borrow it. But yeah, you borrow it for an hour at a time, and you just can keep renewing it. So unless a lot of people are reading the same book at the same time, that's normally not a problem. Yeah, wait a sec. Take that off the screen. Sorry, wrong one. Haven't read Acid Dreams. Started rereading Electric Kool-Aid Acid Tester. Yeah, I used to have that. I've lost that. I read it years ago, but I haven't finished. Haven't seen it. Yeah. I've got Acid Dreams, Illegal Drugs, Acid Trips, and Chemistry. Haven't seen that one yet. Yeah, I saw this one, and it's on archive.org, but you can't read it at the moment. It's because it's one of the ones that it says borrow unavailable. So I went and bought a copy of it because it was quite cheap. It's called War and Drugs: The Role of Military Conflict in the Development of Substance Abuse. Just thought, wow, that sounds fascinating. So I'll be reading that one as well. Let you know what's in it. Yeah, it's quite. It's like they're like textbooks, like these things, aren't there? Photos of documents and all sorts. Obviously, a lot of stuff about the Vietnam War, French connections, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. A lot of them have PDFs that you can download of the books with them. And there's also audio archives. Like last week, I was playing the Grateful Dead off of archive.org. That in the after show. If you're at the after show last week, yeah, and so like, and there's loads of podcasts that people have saved on there. So like, you know, just type in a subject and you'll find all sorts of stuff. And documents, the Operation Chaos documents are on archive.org from my Operation Chaos stream. Loads of the books that I've read. The Mama Cass biography I read on archive.org. The Max Jacobson book. That stream as well, if people haven't watched that, look that up. The Max Jacobson stream, the guy who, Dr. Feelgood, who gave everyone amphetamines. I think the title sounds so far-fetched, people can't believe it, but it's true. He was injecting loads of people with what is essentially methamphetamines. Yeah. Yeah, and he was at Millbrook as well. His name cropped up again when I was reading about Millbrook. Several of the people that lived at Millbrook were his clients. He had to come around and inject them. Yeah. No, just that, yeah, a lot of people like PDFs. It's just storing them all in it, you know, keeping them. But yeah, it's just if you lose the internet, then you're fucked now, aren't you? That's the I've got too dependent on archive.org because you can make notes on all the books and all that. So if the internet went down, I would lose all that, obviously, and books I haven't got a hard copy of because I rely on too much on archive.org, you know. Yeah. Oh, what's that? That's Twin Peaks. You can download Firewalk with Me with a bunch of the cutscenes edited back in from archive. Yeah, I found all sorts on there as you search. It's a real rabbit hole place. Like, there's loads of and video games, I think, as well, isn't there? And you know, software as well, and all that sort of stuff. If you're into software, yeah, there's all sorts of stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, the Marquis de Sade's books, yeah, are really, really famous. A lot of serial killers read them. You know, the Moors murderers. Ian Brady was obsessed with the Marquis de Sade and his books. Yeah. Yeah, the Doors of Perception and the Tibetan Book of the Dead, Psychomagic, Psychic Bible, and the Marquis de Sade. Yeah, I bet they're probably on archive.org as well, actually. The Doors of Perception definitely will be. And there's a couple of William Sargent books on there as well. Like I said, I can do more of these streams showing books on different subjects. Yeah, I've read that as well. Marianne Faithfull was related to him, yeah. She is related to, through her mother. He's just having pixie caps on spaghetti bolognese when you were a lad. That must have been fun. Yeah, because we do get them growing in this country. They're much smaller than the Mexican ones, though. It doesn't look the same. Yeah. Someone had hacked the Twin Peaks missing pieces back into Firewalk with me somehow. Fan edit. Well, I'll have to look that up. That'd be interesting. Because that whole series as well, it's some of it's on YouTube, probably all of it's on YouTube, but that guy who was murdered, who David Schneiderman might have had something to do with his entire TV series. The TV series him and the guy worked on is on archive.org. And they reckon it inspired MTV the way MTV was. You know, it's really sad that guy was murdered when he didn't get the fame he deserved. You've smoked angel dust on weed before, but only a couple of times. Fucking hell. Angel dust. That's the one that's PCP, isn't it? That's what we were talking about. Yeah. Oh, that's another point. Yeah, I've got an update stream for that. The PCP at the folk festival, fucking folk rock festival stream. We found the original article about the woman who died on PCP, and it wasn't at the festival, but we found the facts of her death and that. And that essay of Mae Brussels wasn't the full draft, the full thing. She didn't publish it in her lifetime. It was found, and published after her death. So maybe she would have clarified it. She didn't actually die at that festival, but she died on PCP. And I found the article that it sounds like Mae Brussels read. So I'll do an update stream on that. But yeah, what was her name? Lois Todd Delatra. Yeah. And she died, just for want of people taking her to hospital, basically. Her friends just left her in the corner or put her to bed when she'd started convulsing by the sound of things. Yeah, it's horrible. But yeah, I'll do an update stream on that. You smoked it as well. See, having had the effects of it, read what the effects can be, I thought, oh, God. Don't know why people want to do it. Waves of sadness and, yeah. Honestly. It can give you freak strength. Yeah, I know it can make people violent as well. Yeah, apparently. Yeah, so sometimes it feels good, and you can have the worst experience possible too. Yeah, it can make anxiety and paranoia and all that sort of stuff. Can't it? It sounds horrible and unpredictable. It was originally an anesthetic, but it messed people up too much, and they invented ketamine, and ketamine was better. They used that. Yeah. Yeah, tea and brownies. Better than PCP any day, isn't it? Well, apparently in a low enough dose, it does just make you trip out a bit. It's just if they mess it up too much, it gives you the stomach cramps and die. Yeah. Just normal cookies though, innit? Probably. Yeah, I need to get up and make myself another drink or something. God's sake. Oh, the cat's moving. He may knock the mic. No, I don't think he has. Yeah. The cat stood right on the arm of the chair. Just got to try and anticipate what he's going to do next. Where are you going? If he's going to try and get back on my lap or if he's going to jump off. Now he's decided to stand and claw the thing. Right near the mic. You can see his tail. Never encountered PCP, not common in Britain. It's TCP, yeah, the mild antiseptic, not the same thing, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I've never come across it in the UK. I don't. Maybe it wasn't this common here. But yeah, apparently it was originally an anaesthetic, but then when they stopped using it as an anaesthetic, people used it recreationally. But it just sounds so horrible. I don't know why people would want to do it recreationally. Yeah. Cool. Can you hear that wind? In one bad hurricane, the building I live in, this roof blew off. They had flat roofs back then, though. Now we have a proper roof, so it's all right. It shouldn't happen. Yeah, this is pretty much done, this stream. So it's good to have them only about half an hour long, when there's not a lot to say. Oh, and next week as well, I'm going to do one about Charles Manson and Neil Young, because that's apparently commonly searched. There's a research tab on the YouTube, create a studio bit, and it says that's a thing people search for. So yeah, I could do a stream talking about that. What Neil Young actually said about it, because he wrote a song, didn't he, as well? Revolution Blues is about Charles Manson. So yeah, we can talk about that. And there's even a clip of him saying something about Charles Manson that I can look at as well. Yeah, so that's something for next week. Yeah, right on the nose. See, I don't want to jinx it by saying it, because you'd lose subscribers all the time as well, because people unsubscribe, because or people's accounts get closed or whatever. But yeah, I'm at 900 subscribers. So thank you, everyone. And remember to subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, watch the videos and leave comments. Yeah, that's the Mama Cass video about what did Mama Cass see at Sharon Tate's house. There's a lot of comments on that video of people not believing it, but they obviously don't know anything about the mamas and papas. If from what they're saying, they're like, "What? Cass Elliot didn't even know Sharon Tate," and it's like, "Yes, she fucking did." The mamas and papas were at their wedding, and Michelle Phillips had an affair with Roman Polanski. Of course she did. You know what I mean? So yeah, that would help. So people could go and comment on that video, saying that it is plausible that Mama Cass would go to Sharon Tate's house, and it was a party house anyway. People obviously just don't know anything about the situation, really, do they? Yeah, hit the like button. Yes, yeah, lovely Storm Aisha is hitting us, yeah. Nightmare. Yeah, that's what he says. It took me ages to find it, because it's one of the books you can't borrow on archive.org at the moment. Neil Young's biography. I had to find a PDF of it. But yeah, he bought him a motorbike. So it was him, not the Beach Boys, that bought Manson a motorbike, apparently. So yeah, it's totally plausible that Mama Cass went to Sharon Tate's house. But yeah, look, the only people that bother to comment are people saying no. They don't believe it, but people have subscribed from that video as well. So some people must obviously be believing it, and it gets a lot of hits. It's one of the most popular videos I've ever done. Mama Cass stuff always. Yeah. Mama Cass, yeah. Well, she turned up to the island holiday the mamas and papas are on. What are you doing, cat? Sorry, the cat's bloody chewing on my notebook. He's a weird animal. He really is. She turned up to the island holiday that the mamas and papas went on, where they wrote their first album with a whole bottle of LSD. She lost all her other luggage, but she had the LSD in her bra, so she hadn't lost the LSD. A whole bottle of Xandos LSD, and she dosed them every day. You've all got to watch the drug use stream, the Mama Cass's drug use stream. That doesn't get as many views. But yeah. Yeah, she was a bringer of drugs. She hung out with all the drug dealers, all the best drug dealers, didn't she? Billy Doyle and Pete Dawson. But people obviously just don't know it. Yeah, you never keep LSD in your bra. Well, it was a bottle of liquid LSD. It wasn't tabs. Yeah, you wouldn't want it anywhere near your skin, would you? If it was just tabs of it, yeah. Yeah, everyone just handed over stuff to him, didn't they? Yeah, crazy. It was crazy times, though, weren't it? You know, people were falling for all kinds of crap in them days, tripping on all sorts of drugs. Ouch. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll end this one now, and I'll come back and do an after show in about 5 minutes if people are interested. Anyway, yes, thanks for coming, and check out the books on archive.org, obviously, and look at the rest of my videos if you're a new subscriber. And like I said, the full sequence of events videos in the Manson case, they're important. Oh, and there's a Facebook group. If you just search True Crime and Moonshine on Facebook, and the logo's the same as the channel, you'll find it. Come in, join the discussions, and I live stream to Facebook as well normally, and all the shows and after shows stay up in the Facebook group as well. The after shows actually stay up in the Facebook group unless someone else appears and they've asked me to take it down. So yeah, join the Facebook group if you want to be able to watch it on Facebook later and see the after shows, because I don't leave them up on YouTube. Anyway, I'll end it now, and I'll come back in about 5 minutes with an after show. Thanks for coming, everyone. Good night. Well, and see you in 5